Holy cannolis, Batman! We're back for another episode of Magic the Gathering 2015. And this is post-PAX chilled out Nick with a super relaxed voice. How's it going, everybody?
This is our first post-PAX episode. It's been a while.
Yeah, I went on a week-long hiatus, and I feel so relaxed and chilled out and just yeah, just nice.
Breaks are nice.
I just had a real chilled out stream for like 5 hours, and that was pretty cool.
We're all pretty chill. I'd say we're all in a chill mood right now.
We're chilling the fuck out. That's what's happening.
Dude, I haven't had a real break from YouTube. I mean, aside from PAX stuff in 3 years. So that's my first real vacation. I mean, I know I've gone away and pre-recorded shit, but this was I just let it all go. I ran out of pre-recorded videos, I just let it go. And I still gained more subscribers for some reason. I don't understand it at all.
Did you sing a song about it?
Let it go.
I don't care about that. That's fine, though.
No, it's weird because, people often, say that oh, yeah, get a real job. And it's okay, you know what? There is some value to that. I won't lie to you. This isn't the most difficult job in the world out of all jobs. Out of all jobs, this isn't the most difficult job in the world. But I will say that we do work 7 days a week, 52 weeks a year, pretty much. The only time that I ever take off is
take off your clothes.
Yeah, I take off my clothes a lot.
There's a lot of managing shit though that you wouldn't expect if you don't do this all the time. There's a lot of planning things and making sure things are there and stressing out about getting something done in time. And it's all self-imposed, but it is still there.
It's like a full honestly, I'd say even 70% of doing this isn't recording videos.
Yeah,
or
I agree.
Streaming. Most of it is not doing that. I mean, that's the fun part.
A lot of planning, a lot of especially when you start taking on shows and daily or every couple days
things, making sure you're free,
emails,
making sure your computer hardware works when you need it to. Rob knows about that.
Yes, I do.
I mean, I've been there too.
It's getting close to by the time Rob gets a new computer. He'll get a couple of days.
That's true. Yeah, I know. It's been a while. I might as well get a new computer now just to fucking pull the cord. But yeah, no. Which guy doesn't want to block for my turn, by the way?
Fight me. I don't care. Whatever you need to do.
No, I can't fight either of you. Just one of you can't block for my turn. You? All right, here you go. Enjoy. But anyway, yeah, no. There's a lot of back end shit that is not seen.
Writing descriptions and tags that takes way too long sometimes.
Fucking worst. Yeah. I've started. Can I let you all in on a little industry secret?
Industry secret?
Are you going to tell me you copy and paste your tags and make that a surprise?
Well, no, not that.
Okay.
I mean, obviously, yeah, that would be fucking stupid if you wrote in all of your tags every time. But no.
I wrote in my tags every time.
Oh, you're a fucking moron.
Yep.
But,
I didn't use it. I only used 8 tags max, so it was I would.
That's actually good.
Well, here's the little industry secret.
What's that?
Tags basically don't matter anymore. By the way.
You saw this on our Let's Play, didn't you?
No, I was talking to Ryan about it, actually.
He saw it on our Let's Play. I'm almost positive, because there was a thread just recently that talked about this.
We talked about it before PAX, but it was...
So that's what I'm talking about.
Okay. Well, I don't know. He said that he was testing it with
his anus.
Yeah.
A series probably is what you're trying to say.
No, he was testing it with a bunch of different videos and trying to see search rankings and stuff, and he was testing it with different tags and seeing if it mattered, and it just basically didn't.
It's engagement based. They look at how many minutes of engagement and active things you get from that.
That's the majority of it. Yeah.
Likes also don't matter either. Likes are just the biggest way likes matter is that on people who have it enabled, it will also show up on their thread as things that this person has watched, which could then drive more viewers. But it doesn't actually push it higher in search rankings anymore.
Huh.
Weird. So here you go, some solid secret industry shit for you.
Yeah, there you go.
Enjoy.
You'll never 5 secrets
you will never get this.
About YouTube that you wouldn't believe are real.
Lions hate him.
Yeah, we're all gonna go on BuzzFeed later.
So, any PAX thoughts? What do you guys liked about PAX?
I love you guys.
Yeah,
mostly.
That's the best part about it, honestly.
Yeah, no, I'm gonna be completely honest. I went to the convention on the first day, and that was it.
Right? Yeah, you didn't even go the third day. I forgot.
Mind you, I was very sick on the second day.
Yeah, second day, none of us went.
Yeah, Friday night.
Literally none of us. None of us at all.
It was a little crazy. Friday night was.
Josh went.
Josh went. Yeah, and that whole crew too. But
2 crew. But yeah, we had an interesting time on.
I avoided
Friday.
it. I didn't drink.
Nick avoided it.
I drank very minimally.
We all had a lot to drink.
7?
Well, the 7 is like not. It's only 2.
It absorbed damage like mad though.
Well, look, I know Mad's a cool guy and he absorbs a lot of damage, but let's not bring him into the argument, okay?
I like Mad. Keep going.
All right. I forgot what I was talking about. Oh, Friday night. Basically, Friday night was so crazy that, like we said, no one the next day went to PAX. Most people slept. I threw up a lot on the day after, and then I slept. Thanks for that.
No problem.
But yeah, we recuperated, did some karaoke. If you've been paying attention to Twitter, you probably saw some of that on Saturday night.
I haven't seen all of those videos. Did a lot of people upload them already?
I think only the
Kate.
one.
Okay, out of respect to Ryan, I didn't upload any, but Kate totally did. So I have like a lot of footage of Ryan singing things, as well, all of us, honestly.
Yeah, I sang one song. That was it. Well, no, we did the whole
Scrubs, and I didn't remember.
You didn't sing No Scrubs.
I sang the choruses to No Scrubs.
Who the hell knew that at the end there was this long speaking part? Come on.
Yeah, that's a good point. Although we did like pretty much all get together and sing. Well, obviously the last part, but we did get together and sing "Here I Go Again" by Whitesnake.
Oh,
yeah.
And Bohemian Rhapsody was the big.
Well, yeah, Bohemian Rhapsody was. I mean, that has to be like.
That was kind of beautiful, honestly.
Yeah. It was great. I enjoyed that one a lot.
There were like 15 of us all singing it.
Yeah.
Because everybody knows the lyrics to Bohemian Rhapsody.
I didn't, honestly. I don't. I've only listened to that a handful of times. As weird as that feels to say.
That's surprising.
We were doing pretty good splitting up the crazy part where it's all the highs and the lows.
Yeah.
Easy
we had
comes,
some
easy
people
goes.
doing the highs, yeah. Some people doing the lows.
Will you let me go?
People's comp was easy and some go. That didn't go as well how I wanted to plan it.
It's all right.
Anyway, yeah, karaoke was fun. I was glad that we did that.
We wanted to do it for years, and it's finally actually happened. So I was just very happy about that.
Yeah, it just took Ryan actually planning it out and reserving the place, and then we had to go. Even with the early reservation, we ended up having to go at 6 to 8. Oh,
I would say it was a bit on the short side. I would have liked another hour at least.
Yeah, that'd have been. I would have liked to get hammered there.
Or guess that could have been fun.
Yeah, and then of course Sunday night we went out to a very nice fondue place, and it was delicious.
That was so close to never happening, though.
Yeah, we tried every night to go to the fondue place, and every night it didn't happen. And then finally, the last night, we made reservations. And
they're very popular.
They really weren't, though.
Yeah, like, that's the thing, is like they were super exclusive about getting fucking reserved places, but we were the only ones there when.
Right.
I don't
yeah. What exactly happened there again? So it was packed all the time except for when we needed to get in, but yet we had to wait for a really long time, even though there was no one in the restaurant.
See, it makes me think, like, were they actually packed, or were they just seating, like, 4 people at a time?
Artificial scarcity, because that dude fucking fell down the stairs.
Oh, yeah, that's right. That might have been what it was, actually.
I think it was that. It was right around... We were there when we heard the thump of the guy hitting the ground.
Yeah.
We just heard, like, a very loud boom, and then a huge crash of plates. And we were like, oh, someone spilled some plates. We just thought someone spilled some plates, right?
I thought someone died.
Apparently, we're talking to the waiter guy, who's actually the bartender. He's not supposed to wait, but he was waiting us, and he explains why. He was like, yeah, I'm the bartender. Our other waiter fell down the stairs with all the plates. So apparently
so
it was...
he went to the hospital, is what he said.
Yeah, he went to the hospital.
He had fucking staples and stitches and shit.
Yeah, so it was like, oh, that happened.
So we were actually all really impatient and angry, and then like when I heard that, I was like, "Oh shit! Like that's totally a valid reason." Now I feel bad.
It was a very strange like series of the night we waited like 30 minutes even to get our reserve table, and then we took.
But we also bumped we had more people on the reservation, which is not really their fault, right? We added another person,
of course. But then it took us like 20 minutes for them to come give us our drinks, and then. Another.
We were in there for like 3 hours.
It was the longest dining experience of my life, but I actually really liked it afterward.
Yeah,
it was fun. It was a fun time.
But yeah, basically the night progressively got better as we had more of the courses and
it started way down there.
Yeah,
we were like real cynical about it, and like Kate was pissed. She's like, "I don't want to be at this."
yeah. The fondue. Honestly, like having experienced it now, it's all right.
I actually enjoyed it, I think, the most. People were saying it was all right. Pretty much everyone's agreement was that it was all right.
It needed more cheese, honestly. Like, I think they were really skimping on the cheese portions, like, a lot. And the stuff we were meant to dip in it was kind of shitty.
Yeah, like, the stuff was, like, we had, like, raw broccoli, some celery and shit, and then, like, deli meats. Which was, like, all right, I guess.
Like various types of bread could have been lovely, but we just had these kind of hard roll things to dip in it.
Yeah.
There weren't rolls. What were they? It was like French bread pieces?
Yeah, probably. Yeah, something like that.
And the raw broccoli kind of pissed me off. Like, you couldn't have just steamed that shit for a while.
Yeah, I don't know, man. The stuff that they and then also, okay, I'm gonna sound like a weirdo here.
Okay.
Do it.
But we paid for like when you order a thing, it's supposed to come with individual, like you pay. Okay, so like for the chocolate. Right? For the chocolate.
No.
Flesh
2 damage.
You're gaining so much life, though.
Yeah, that's true. But so like with the chocolate, it's like you get whatever, like a plate of like brownies and whatnot, and you pay for 2 separate portions, right? Because each thing that you pay for is considered a portion. So like me and Fox shared a bowl of chocolate, and we both paid for a specific portion of chocolate. Yet they only gave us 1 fucking plate of the brownies and stuff, and they did the same thing with like the vegetables and the bread and all that other shit. They gave us like 1 portion of it.
Because he gave me the same portion he gave the 2 of you, and he told me that I was getting 2 portions. So apparently that 1 plate counts as 2 portions according to them.
Yeah, he could say that, but then you
saw what I got, right?
Yeah, well,
I got like nothing on my side. You got more than me.
I don't know.
I even remarked, that's what sparked him to say. I was like, how come I got so little stuff on this? And he's like, yeah, no, they got 2.
Yeah, they were skimping, I think, on the portions. Whether it was the way they do it or not, it wasn't enough.
Honestly, though, the dessert stuff was delicious.
It was very good.
And I will say my entree, which I think only me and Kate got entrees, was amazing.
Dude, we just talked about fondue for like 10 minutes on this.
Hey, man.
The fondue, it's an experience that I think people need to know about. That like it was very okay.
So the thing that I want to emphasize about how this relates to our PAX experience is that our PAX experience primarily did not revolve around PAX.
No,
it was a social experiment of us getting together and seeing how much we could drink without dying, and then eating at various places and doing silly things. Which is, what more could you ask for than that? We went to PAX too.
Yeah, it's just the thing about PAX was that, wow.
Yeah, wow.
Make sure you do that to Nick next turn, so he loses his creatures too.
Fine. It's fine.
Anyway, is that there? Besides the indie mega booth, there was nothing else at PAX. Like there was indie mega booth, and there was nothing else. All the big stuff, like the big cool fancy things, were all hardware. There was like Overwatch was the coolest software that they had. And everything else was just not worth the time at all.
Yeah.
We didn't wait on lines for any of that either.
No, that's true, yeah. I actually saw a lot more games this year than I did last year.
Well, yeah, the Indie Mega Booth was still the Indie Mega Booth.
Yeah.
I saw very few. I think I saw less than 10 games this year.
Really?
I browsed, I walked up and down the aisles quite a bit, especially because I was chasing after you motherfuckers. And I was like, all of these booths are incredibly packed, and if I wait on any of these lines, it's going to take me a half an hour to play a game that I'm almost certain if I just email this developer, I'll be able to play it not here, where I can actually, you know, experience it properly. But that's not to say that there's not definitely something to being able to talk to the developer for a while, which I've done a couple of times too. But in the way that it's changed for me was the first PAX was all just talking to people and handing out business cards, and it was all networking. And this one is just primarily just like, let's go and play some games occasionally, hang out with friends. And it's gotten about as far to the other side of it as I think it could ever get. I think I prefer it that way, honestly.
Can you stop?
But I'm open to kind of swaying back and forth as the case may need.
Yeah, I'm hoping that there's just more stuff next time. Because to me, there was just nothing there that was worth... I really wanted to see Bloodborne, but apparently Bloodborne's almost out.
Yeah,
so
the first thing you wanted when we got there is like, first off, we need to go to the Bloodborne booth, then we need to go find Rock Band 4. And
the Rock
neither
Band
of those
4
existed.
is what the bullshit was. I can understand why Bloodborne wasn't there. I understood that. What was bullshit was that... there was all this hype. Rock Band 4 is announced. Oh, Rock Band 4 is going to be at PAX. Rock Band 4, Rock Band 4. When we got to PAX, there was banners. Rock Band 4. The huge light up screen at the entryway to PAX. Rock Band 4.
The biggest screen that
and then
there
we
is.
see there's the Harmonix booth. Massive Rock Band 4 banner. I was like, yeah, let's go play it. It wasn't there.
Yeah.
There was no Rock Band 4 whatsoever.
They had a thing that said Amplitude on it, though, which made me very curious, because Amplitude is... Amplitude and Frequency, that was their older series before they started doing those.
No, they have there's a VR thing now.
What, Amplitude VR? Like
no, they're making another Amplitude.
Oh.
Yeah, but
I saw the trailer for it.
Yeah, but it's like a VR thing. Like I walked by the Harmonix area, and they had people playing it, and you had to wear like a VR headset. I think I don't know if it was an Oculus. I think it might have been the Sony one.
Morpheus.
But yeah. So, but yeah, no, but it's like a VR thing.
I don't think the trailer I saw was just like, here's a new Amplitude.
You know, it doesn't really matter.
Every other Amplitude.
Yeah.
It could have maybe
rhythm game, you hit buttons.
Yeah.
They're good at that.
I've never been into the rhythm games personally, but I know everybody loves them.
I have.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not too terribly into them.
No clue what to do here.
So we played the Move or Die game. Everybody was really excited about that.
Yeah, that was cool.
We ended up playing it already on the NLSS, which was pretty fun. We did Viking Squad, which was surprisingly like really, really good. I'm really looking forward to playing that when it's ready for multiplayer time. Hung out with Will Brierly of Soda Drinker Pro fame. Got to try the new build of Vivian Clark. Got to take a picture with him with some actual bonus sodas, which was like the height of my PAX because I fucking love that guy. And the sodas are delicious. If you guys ever see Will Brierly, buy a bonus soda from him if you can. They're homemade, and they're delicious. They taste like this lovely citrus blend with like a little bit of a hint of almost cinnamon at the end. And it's not too sweet. It's not too sticky. It's just right. Check out a bonus soda.
I didn't know it was homemade. I want to try that now. I like
bonussoda.com.
Yeah, I really should have checked, honestly, because maybe there is a way that you could just buy them like at all times. He actually manufactured a bunch of them somehow.
Huh.
Or his friend did anyway.
Oh my god, Nick, you are the best person.
I'm just looking out for you, Austin.
Thank you.
Watch, Austin's gonna win now, I bet.
We'll see what happens. It's fine.
That'd be funny.
What else did I play? I don't really think I can remember much else.
I played the couple of things that we played on the NLSS last week were things that I played that I enjoyed.
The Smash Brothers game that you showed us was really good. I really didn't think I was gonna like that, and then I totally loved it by the end.
Yeah, no, that was really fun. I really enjoyed Brawlhalla. I liked it at PAX too. Like I played it at PAX, and I talked to the devs, and I was like, "Hey, I'm a streamer and whatnot," and they were like, they didn't even ask me for my information. They were just like, "Oh, we love streamers. Here's a bunch of fucking shit." I was like, "All right, I could have just been lying to you." Like,
well, all right. There's a thing too to talk about.
Multiple times, people
did that
at multiple different desks. People walked up and told them that they were some of us. When they were not.
Yeah, I forgot to. Yeah, I forgot to mention.
I don't know
that.
if we should even mention that to people, considering maybe that'll get worse next year.
Maybe. Yeah. Well, I mean, the cat's out of the bag. We already said it, but
no, I know. But people stole people's passes because they didn't check our IDs and shit, and that was real stupid.
Yeah.
It
wasn't like
it couldn't have just happened with us. Thinking about it, like there's no way that this was an isolated.
Well,
incident.
okay, so like Ryan's thing got taken, right? His media badge or whatever, and I guess they didn't ID the guy or whatever. But then, oh yeah, we're all fucked. But then, and so like, you know, whatever. People know Northern Lion, right? When I went to get my Twitch party wristband so that I could go to the Twitch party because I RSVP'd for it, someone took my fucking name, and it's like, who knows who I am that they're gonna go up to the Twitch booth and be like, oh yeah, I'm AlpacaPatrol. Like, how the fuck does that even happen?
That's really odd, considering like they don't even know who would have RSVP'd. So to just take a shot in the dark and just guess you,
yeah.
Like, I feel like it must have been an inside job. Like somebody we know tangentially must have done it.
Yeah, I don't know.
Somebody kind of scummy too.
Real weird.
Glad that they at least sorted it out with both you and Ryan, but I was kind of pissed about that. And I was pissed from the very moment when I got there, because they didn't check my ID either. Thankfully, nobody took mine. But there's no name on the media badges anymore, and she didn't look at my ID or my business card, and I handed them both to her. She was just like, here it is. Like, okay, well, that's why that's a problem. You guys have done this for years already, and you know how this works, and you've actually downgraded your ability to recognize security issues now.
Yeah.
I really hope that doesn't continue to get worse, because that's a real problem. So that it was going to be like, so the next thing is you walk up to the Twitch booth and like, we want to get this guy in, but he doesn't have any affiliation with anybody. So you're like, oh, hi, I'm Total Biscuit. Do you have, no, sorry, not Total Biscuit. I'm Cryotic. Do you have one? No, not him either. I'm Markiplier. Do you have that?
Did you do the thing?
No, I don't know how to math.
7 damage. Yeah.
No, actually, no. It wasn't anything. I'm just stupid and ignored everything that just happened.
Okay, fair enough.
All right. Anyway, what were you saying, Nick?
That you can just basically pick a bunch of Twitch people and just keep guessing names until you get one that works. Because there's like a whole bunch of people at the Twitch booth that aren't talking to each other, and a lot of anarchy where no one knows what the hell's going on. So you could probably approach 5 or 6 different people and just keep asking them, hi, yeah, I need to register. I'm Markiplier. Do you have one for me? I mean, they'll know.
Yeah.
They'll know if you're Markiplier, but I mean, just pick any Twitch partner that you can think of and just keep guessing.
Well, but see, that's the thing, is like, would they know? Because they, like, someone got away with
they would
Ryan's
know Markiplier.
Right? Well,
Markiplier freaking presented there on that booth.
Oh, okay, yeah, fair enough.
Markiplier is like Markiplier, though.
Yeah.
So, like, he's one of, like, the...
Markiplier does
literally
what Markiplier does. Not because Markiplier does Markiplier.
It's a South Park joke.
Yeah, it is, yeah.
It seemed like a very the Twitch one I could understand because there's just so many partners, and how could they keep track? They should have a way to keep track. Obviously, it's stupid that they don't. But that one is more understandable than someone getting, you know, their damn media PAX badge like that. You should have to give an ID for that, and it should be there.
You do.
At the very least, there's a name on it. And it's like, all right, the name of this person is blank blank. Let me see your ID that says you are blank blank. And that should solve every issue.
It was in the instructions when you pick it up that you needed to do that, and they just chose not to follow those instructions on their side.
That's very silly.
Also, I couldn't get a locker in the media room, which made me upset too. I was counting on that, and I was like, I didn't realize the coat check was $3.
Was it really?
Yeah, I thought it was free in the past, but it was $3. So like, I wanted to just go get my locker in the media room, and no,
we spent so long trying to check coats that it ended up us just
being like a day's activities.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we eventually it's just like, I guess we're just carrying the coats. So there's only like an hour left in the convention.
Yeah.
You know what I played? You know what I played at PAX as well? That was pretty cool. Was Necropolis, which they showed for the first time there, and it was pretty cool.
Crypt of the Necropolis.
It was that and Death's Gambit, I think I wanted to play both of. Although I think I've already had Death's Gambit before and never tried it. I don't know. It's just so much easier to just not worry about trying to play it there and just get a copy and have fun with it.
Yeah. No, you're right.
It's kind of like you just walk around and you're like, okay, I want that, and you're just kind of like making a checklist in your head, like, who am I going to email when this is over?
Right, yeah. Yeah, basically.
But it's nice to touch base with a few of the developers maybe that you knew already.
I've been touching so many bases.
Good.
I was touching a bassist as well.
Oh, were you?
Yeah,
they like that. They don't get enough loving, honestly.
No, you're right. They really don't.
Bassists are the least loved. Like,
no, it's the drummer. The drummer.
No, the drummers are loved one more than the bassists.
They're the least loved. I guarantee you.
I don't know, man.
I feel like drummers have made some strides in recent years.
We've actually had this conversation on this before. It's definitely the drummers.
Have it really? Are
yeah,
you sure?
I'm pretty sure.
We've had this conversation before.
I think we have.
It's crazy.
But I'm gonna stand by. I think the bassists are the least loved.
You shouldn't stand there.
I'm standing.
Yo, what are you standing there for?
You can stand by me, and I'll be your friend.
I won't let
So we all
nobody
need
hurt you.
somebody to lean on.
Okay.
How many songs was that?
You can go that way. You can go your own way.
Fair.
No.
Look, you can walk this way.
Look, stop.
Walk this way.
I like what's happening right now. Oh my God, so good. Good job. Good job, Austin.
So good. So good.
Yeah. Wipeout. You sunk my battleship, motherfucker.
I did. It got sunk.
Oh my God, what just happened?
I'm gonna fist your ass.
Fist my ass.
I don't think that's a song.
No, it is. You just haven't heard it.
Might be like a Tenacious D song or something.
Fist my ass.
Yeah.
Fist my.
Oh, you did the D song too. That was pretty good.
Yeah, that's not bad.
The greatest song in the world.
It was the best song in the world.
That one.
We did that at karaoke.
Oh, kill me. Just kill me now.
Oh. All right.
Is that a song? I actually don't know.
No, it's over. Like, that's the end of the game. I drew so many lands and not anything useful for an incredible amount of time.
Yeah, that sucks.
I actually probably could have won there somehow.
I was waiting on Inferno Titan. I'm glad he finally came out.
I was waiting on things to kill you with.
Yeah. Doesn't even matter.
Yeah. I also had that thing, that card in my hand the whole time. I was just trying to get you down to 6 life so that I could.
Who cares, really?
Blast you with my fire geyser.
Yeah, whatever.
My geyser of flame.
I guess you could say you don't care anymore. No more.
It doesn't even matter how hard you try.
No, we already did the Linkin Park. Fucking hell.
We did that one, Rob. Thanks.
Did we do that one already?
Yeah.
Literally just did it.
All right, so now that the magic shitty part of this episode's over with, we can talk about. For one thing, let's talk about how Nintendo sucks. Because if you guys want to launch into that, go right ahead.
No, like I want to say I didn't go to their booth because for like the longest time I couldn't see it. They had no Nintendo sign. They had this like banner of their games, and at the very bottom it was like in fine print Nintendo, and I was like, what? How am I supposed to? I need like a giant sign with Mario and Luigi fucking banging each other or some shit. I need some advertisement, man.
Nintendo does this thing where they've got a million little podiums filled with games of random nature on all sides. And if you've been to previous PAX, you might notice it because of that, but I just didn't pay attention. So, yeah, I couldn't find it either.
I didn't even know that they had a booth.
Yeah. Sure I kept saying throughout the entire first day while we're walking around, where the fuck's the Nintendo booth? I know they have one here.
Yeah, I remember hearing they had Splatter there, right? I wanted to play
Splatoon.
Oh, whatever.
Splatter. The diarrhea game.
It's basically
Shit myself, the game.
Yeah. Yeah, I wanted to play that. That seems kind of fun.
I still want to try Splatoon, but when I actually saw their booth, it looked very packed. And it looked terribly designed where it was like no space.
Oh, like a Nintendo game.
Yeah, basically.
That's pretty good. There's actually a section of the Indie Mega booth that's like the Nintendo booth, where it's just like a mishmash of people who didn't get the full
Indie Mega
treatment. But that's, if you know what that looks like, that's what the Nintendo one looks like, just even more packed with people. So you just can't see anything or talk to anyone. It's just packed.
That's great. Yeah. I'm surprised they don't even show up at E3 anymore, right? Like they just
they send in a video.
They literally phone it in. Like they literally do that.
They do a Nintendo Direct E3 presentation, which is actually a very hype thing. They usually announce a lot of cool things. That's why they announced the new Zelda. But they don't actually have an E3 presentation anymore, which honestly to me is smart.
I kind of like it, honestly. The Nintendo Direct is pretty nice because it's like it doesn't have the like the really awkward like, hey, we got some random fucking D-list celebrity to.
We're hip, we're cool. Here's some games.
Remember the Wii Music presentation where they had the dude on the drum set? It never will get better than that.
No, that was the best thing.
That was the most cringy thing that Nintendo's ever done.
I think that's why they stopped doing Nintendo presentations.
They just cringed themselves off the planet.
There's the Ubisoft every year as well.
They cringed so hard, the friction created so much heat that they just blasted off into space.
They just imploded. Yeah.
Every year, though, like, if you want a cringe fest now at E3, Ubisoft. Every year, it's the most cringy shit ever. It's amazing.
The Microsoft and the Sony were both equally as bad as like Nintendo was in the past, but the past couple of years they've realized how bad it was, and it's not necessarily good, and it's just not as bad as it was.
It's all right.
Ever since the Kinect is gone, it's been better for Microsoft.
Yeah.
I wish they would have just listened to me from day one. I was like, this is bullshit. Get rid of it. You'll be happier as a result, and they didn't listen.
And they finally did, and I think
they probably wasted so much money on the Kinect and shipping that with the things. Like, they probably just fucking tanked it into the ground, and they... I don't know.
There's still a part of me that honestly wonders if a big part of that strategy was a secret, like, we really want to listen to you when you're in your house and figure out how to market to you. I know that's super paranoid conspiracy theorist bullshit, but, like, the fucking Samsung TVs actually did that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, like... I know it sounded crazy then, but in the context of that, I feel like it's a little less crazy. I still could be wrong, but I just think that that's maybe part of why they pushed it as hard as they did, because it seemed irrational how much they wanted that thing to succeed.
It was the first E3. It was like, all right, this looks cool. Project Natal. This looks like it could be cool.
Fucking Molly knew.
And then,
oh my god.
And then the next E3, it was when they really started to like hammer on like, buy this, buy it, please buy it.
Yeah, and then they initially were... That was actually, I think, one of the most hilarious E3s is the year that Xbox One and PS4 were being announced, because it was like... That was one of the greatest E3s in my opinion, not because it was a good E3, but because that was like the funniest shit, because Xbox's conference was all like, hey, so for our next item that we're going to show you, it's a spiked dildo that we're going to shove into your asshole, and then we're going to steal your wallet and take your money. And then after that, we're going to have a T-Rex stomp on your house and burn your shit and piss in your mouth while we take your money. And then like PS4, like all of the presenters, because it came on after the Xbox One, all of the presenters, maybe this was just me projecting,
no,
but all of
wasn't.
them looked so fucking smug. They were like, "Oh my god,
I could sit here and take a shit in front of everyone, walk off the stage, and still sell more games and consoles."
That was so good. Like, that was the greatest thing. And then like and then there was like that huge backlash for a while. And then like a day or two later, they were like, "Yeah, all that stuff we said at E3." We were just, we remember when we said like it was impossible for us to remove. Turns out we were actually wrong. Totally possible. We're removing it. Buy our console, please.
It was the same kind of impossible to remove that EA expressed with the SimCity Online DRM. It's like, completely impossible, but also we could do it.
Yeah, that was the worst with them too. Is like in case people need background on this, by the way. So SimCity 5 initially launched, and this is actually a good topic because the City Skylines came out. But
it's not called SimCity 5. It's just SimCity. It's a reboot.
Yeah, whatever. But SimCity
well, you can
5.
put a number to it. It's just they didn't brand it that way. Anyway, keep going.
Yeah, but anyway, yeah. So when that came out, it was online only, which everybody found to be bullshit. And we were like, can we just play it offline? Like, I don't need to play this online. It's bullshit. And they were like, no, it's actually impossible. We can't. We
offloaded the rendering
to
our servers,
which is like,
so it's like a Gekai on live kind of thing where they're actually like using cycles of their own servers to make sure you have the best graphical fidelity. And everyone's like, this is not true. You're just not doing that.
Yeah, no, there is no feasible way that you would have been doing that, and it's super obvious that you're not if you've ever played a video game.
And then within days.
Within days, a modder gave was like, offline mode. Here you go. And then the
pirated version had it.
Well, there was also a mod that you could just play offline if you wanted to. If you even had a legit copy, you could just play offline with the SimCity.
I thought it was that they cracked it, which is why it had the online disabled, so you could crack it.
Maybe, I don't know. But either way, they had offline mode, and then there was like more drama, and they were like, okay, well, so turns out we lied about that. And then also we are going to release a patch that makes it so that you can't use that anymore. And now you have to play online, even though we did lie that you had to. We're making sure that you do have to now by patching it and making sure you can't.
And you have to keep in mind, this is during the time where no one could get into the game for like months, well, weeks at least. All right, maybe not months, but weeks. And people just wanted to play the fucking game they bought for full price. And because of this artificial online DRM bullshit, they couldn't play it. So that's why they were so strong about the whole that it was required thing. It wasn't. They just really, 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 really wanted you to have to bend to their whims.
SimCity, I think to this day, is still the worst modern game release in recent memory.
Like a big AAA, fuck
like
up.
Diablo 3 might be like a close second. But SimCity was
the train kept crashing all night long.
It just kept going.
Diablo 3 might have been worse, actually.
No, I really think it's SimCity.
I think it's SimCity.
I mean, no, SimCity for sure. But the thing is, like, Diablo 3, people had been waiting for Diablo 3.
I know.
For like 15.
People have been waiting for SimCity for a while too, though. Not as long,
but also it's a Blizzard game, and it was like this. Like Diablo 3 was like kind of like the beginning of.
Well,
I think the really hardcore Blizzard fans being like, all right, I think they don't give a shit anymore. Like, people were already that, like, I've been a hardcore Blizzard fan my whole life, and then World of Warcraft, I played that a bit, and I saw what they were doing with it, and I was like, Blizzard's kind of letting me down here, and then the whole StarCraft Ghost happened, and then when Diablo 3 happened, it was like, yeah, you guys just don't give a shit anymore.
It's impossible to judge which was worse, because on the Blizzard side, there were so many people that were so adamant to defend Blizzard for anything they did. You'd never be able to tell how many of them were actually hurt inside. Whereas with EA, obviously no one gives a shit about EA. And they're totally willing to bash them if they do something messed up. So you can't really weigh those two against each other. It's just in my own personal perception. The fact that they lied, got caught on it, lied more, shit just got so ugly, and they never really just came out and were like, here's what's actually going on. I thought that was uglier than what happened with Blizzard, and I am not a fan of what they did there either.
I'm pretty sure Diablo didn't work for only like a few days too. Not the like weeks that SimCity went on.
Yeah, SimCity was...
Well, and the ethical dilemma behind whether or not the way that they decided to set it up was, well, for what it was.
And Blizzard had their whole auction house bullshit. They eventually, like, got rid of that anyway.
Yeah.
Took them
Honestly,
a while.
That's the part that... I know you guys don't like it a lot, but that part of it was not controversial to me. I don't think the real money auction house was a big idea. If they did it in a way that it influenced game design, which one could argue that it did, then... yeah, sure, it's pretty fucked up. But then,
but that's what it is. That's what we're saying it did.
Yeah, right. But oh, god damn it! Hold on a second. Sorry if people are hearing Skype noises. And god damn it! I have to turn off my Kindle and shit too.
Oh my god. That was the actual argument though for us, was that it did actually cause the game to be played differently, and they encouraged it to be set up that way so they could reinforce this idea that they thought was so clever.
But you didn't have to use the real money auction house. It's not even like honestly, when I was playing it in the first month, the real money auction house wasn't even implemented yet. It was still just the regular auction house. And yes, if you wanted to be quick about what you're doing and get through the story quickly, you could use the auction house. But I kind of like auction houses in general, honestly. Like, I kind of enjoy it, but honestly, in Diablo, it's not... Well, one of my biggest gripes with Diablo was how they handled the level system.
Right, because not giving you stat point attribution, that it was basically just pre-done for you and you just pick a couple skills.
Yeah. And they hid the fact that you could put any skill in any slot, too, which was kind of weird. Like, I was already, like, level 40 by the time... Yeah, like, and they made it so that it was, like, a hard limitation, like, you could have these skills here, and it was like, I don't... And then the other main thing that was really, really desperately wrong with Diablo 3 for me was that the items just sucked so much ass. There was no point in, and that's why the auction house was all right, because
they for set me it up anyway, that way, Rob.
No, I know. Well, no. But I mean, but specifically, like the reason the items were ass was because all they did was like, oh, this gives me 1 point of agility. Great, I get 0.05 extra attack speed. Woo! I'm glad. Yeah, fucking
they
grinded the shit out of that
loot system over it, though.
No, I know. I'm glad that they did overhaul it to make it a real fucking Diablo game where, like, I want my weapon, if I get a cool badass legendary weapon, I want it to explode enemies and turn them into ice skeletons. You know, like, that's what I want.
Right, but that's not what you're getting.
I don't want, like, 5 DPS more out of my fucking...
You know, like, what Blizzard was trying to do. They were positioning this as a sort of, like, free-to-play World of Warcraft, like, hybrid game for people who think that Diablo is a cool idea and really like Gothic architecture. Yeah. Right. So they wanted to grab all of that demographic and then get them to buy a shitload of money worth stuff. Yeah. That's all it was.
No, and you're totally and that is the thing that really upset me. That's why I was saying about the leveling system. It was like the level cap. Level cap, okay, makes sense in World of Warcraft. Totally makes sense because there's end game content, right? You get to level 60 in World of Warcraft and there's a bunch of raids that you can do to buff your character. Diablo is not that. Diablo was never that. There's no reason to have a level cap to increase your level cap artificially at the next expansion. The very nature of Diablo is that you're replaying the story over and over and over and over again. Like, there is no reason for it to be a level cap set as a hard limitation at 60. If you guys remember Diablo 2, there was a level cap at like 99 or something like that. I don't really remember now. It's been years. But it was like incredibly difficult to achieve. Like, it was a difficult feat to get to level 99 because every time you would go up a lot of levels, you would die and then you'd lose half the level and it would take, you know, a long time anyway. So it was like it always incentivized the main mechanic of the game, which is grinding, and Diablo 3 just didn't do that because the items sucked. There was a level cap. There was no reason at all to play on Inferno difficulty, and it's just like it's like they were like, hey, we've got Diablo 2, let's pull out some of the essential elements and trade in the World of Warcraft stuff because people liked World of Warcraft, and then see if that works. And no, it doesn't. It doesn't fucking work. It seemed like that game had no vision as to what made it's like they didn't all know
money. It was money driven.
Yeah, it's as if they had no idea why Diablo 2 was successful. They didn't know why. And they just made a game that was kind of superficially similar to it.
But have you played it since
all
that time? Because, see, that's the thing. I ended up getting the PS3 or PS4 version, and it's like, it's fine. It's what if the game released that way, I would have actually been pretty happy about it.
Yeah.
And I played through it several times.
Yeah.
It's weird. It's weird to me when a game gets a re-release version that's way better. I said version. Version that's way better than what released. It's happening more frequently now. Dark Souls 2 is another good example.
God damn it, you beat me to it.
Yeah.
I was going to cough.
But just for those of you who don't know, Dark Souls 2 is going to get a big release here shortly after Bloodborne, which is stupid. But I think sometime in April, it's going to get a big re-release, and they're going to fix some of the things, and they're going to make it look nicer. It's going to have all the DLCs. It's going to have a new final boss. I think they're fixing or moving enemy placement around or something.
The final boss is available now. The patch has already gone up.
Right. But basically, and also, this is very quotation marks. I'm making very large air quotation marks with my fingers right now. There's a new ending, which basically the same kind of idea that Dark Souls. You get a choice between this or that, and it's nothing special. But it just seems like, why wasn't that in the game originally? And the game just seems more complete than it was. It's still got the issues that it's always had, but it seems to be much more complete in this version. I said virgin again. Okay.
I did, yeah.
I actually saw a video that was like really delving into why the ending was the way that it was, and it actually made it make sense for me that they didn't have an option in this one. Have any of you seen that?
I have not.
Rob probably doesn't give a shit, but
I'm interested. I'll be watching that. I'll want to watch that.
Because now that I know that, I kind of wonder how they could actually make it be about two different options, even if one of them is just pointless. Huh.
Yeah, I don't know. I'll have to see that video too to understand it. But I mean, when you get to Dark Souls lore, I can't speak today.
Dark Souls lore.
Dark Souls lore. It's very vague and obtuse and up to interpretation. So,
yeah.
Who knows,
Yeah,
really?
true.
But it's a scary trend when we're getting unfinished games. Is basically what I'm trying to get at, and then we get another finished game for the same price a year later.
I've said this for years, like, what other industry do you know that can ship a product that's just straight up broken and then totally it like nothing happens? Like, imagine if you like Assassin's Creed Unity, say, as an example.
I would say that's as a parallel.
That's roughly akin a restaurant. Yeah, I was gonna say like a car. Like, what if you went to buy, you know, a new Subaru? Subaru,
right.
Chevy.
I don't know. Yeah, whatever. You get a new Subaru, and then well, it actually turns out we didn't give you a carburetor. You don't have a carburetor, but tough shit. You paid full price. Go suck it. Like,
but hey, in like a month,
does that.
In a month, we'll stick one in there. It'll work.
Yeah, but it's $7.99.
We'll patch it up and give you a fucking.
One of the pistons is not going up and down. It's in the engine. It's weird, but we'll try and fix that later.
Like, what other industry does that? Like a movie. Like imagine if they did that in movies where it's like oh, actually we totally just didn't finish this scene, so just pretend like we're just gonna put the dialogue up and just pretend that it's there.
I feel like a movie has done that
in this scene. I don't know what happened. We'll fix it.
Well, movies kind of do that a little bit.
With, like the director's cut versions where they have a bunch of scenes that are like, that should have been in the movie.
Well, no, that's not exactly
specifically
the same
cut intentionally, though.
Yeah,
it's not always.
Yeah.
Shorter.
Sometimes there's issues with them.
Well, yeah, sort of, but it's not exactly the same thing. What would be more akin to it is like the first Hobbit movie. They set the release date way too. They
should just cut the whole movie.
Yeah, I agree. But also, they set the release date for the first one way too early, and so that's why the pale orc in the first movie looks like fucking utter garbage CGI. Like, he looks like he's it's like, what is this, fucking like 1991 again with CGI here? It looks garbage. It's because they had to rush it, so they had to super rush the CGI on the pale orc guy.
All the CGI in the first movie looks terrible.
Yeah, it's because they rushed it. They didn't have enough time to render it, so like because like rendering on that movie takes like a month, so it with like a lab of supercomputers to fucking render it, so like they just didn't have time, and so it looks like garbage. So, and that's why. So that is roughly similar to like Assassin's Creed Unity. Like, oh yeah, well, we released, but we totally forgot to actually make the multiplayer work. Sorry about that. I know we shipped that as a feature, but you know, we'll get it to you eventually. Don't worry about it. We're good for it. You know us.
It's an unsettling trend because people are totally okay with it. Like the even though we say we're not okay with it, we're still buying the games. We're still pre-ordering the games.
Well, in fairness, though, the games industry has been like that for a long time. It's just a lot worse right now because of the.
I don't think. Well, because before you can patch games, you better have shipped a complete damn game because.
Well, no, you can look at stuff like say Superman 64, which was like a super buggy mess and just released too early, or like True Crime New York City is another one that was like a super buggy mess that it basically was just broken. Like it was like a
yeah, but those games
late alpha. Sell. Well, yeah, I mean they did though. I mean maybe not as much as like yeah. I mean, all right, yeah, no, I guess you're right. The trend now that's more terrifying is that, well, the trend now is that the popular studios are doing it now. Like the ones that are actually the at the forefront of the AAA are doing it now, not just like, you know, random bullshit on the side studios. Like B-list studios.
There's just more money to go around in total, though. So like even if it's not the main studios, the B-list studios are still getting the money that used to be the other way.
Right, yeah. Yeah, it's but indie games, I like those.
They're nice.
Those are mostly good, except for all of early access.
Me and Nick were discussing this. I think we came to a conclusion, but Ori and the Blind Forest, that's an indie game, right?
Yeah. Who's that made by?
You're saying because it's published by Microsoft.
Yeah, and it's very clearly a very high budget game.
Yeah, but I don't know if I necessarily want to get into this discussion, but like
doesn't matter is the answer. Always.
Yeah, exactly. But here's a general rule Here's a general thing that you need to understand about indie games and why it's basically fucking impossible to this is what you should learn about if you want to like clarify or categorize.
You've got to get with
what an
friends.
Indie game is and what isn't an indie game, right? Okay. Because if you really wanted to do that, then you would classify something like if your rule is, well, it has to be not published, it has to be independently developed. That's what an indie game is. Like, all right, so Dota 2 is an indie game. Half-Life 2 is an indie game. What else you got here? You got Elder Scrolls Morrowind. That's an indie game. If that's your rule, if that no, but that's what I'm saying. Is that no? That's what I'm saying. If that's your rule, then your rule is stupid because you wouldn't call those indie games. The people who are really adamant about yelling about what's an indie game, what's not an indie game. The truth is, it doesn't fucking matter. It does not matter. Like it's not a like something that people need to argue about, essentially. So
that one, the thing you said at the end, I'm with you on that. What are you gonna gain? You're gonna prove me wrong that something's an indie game? What do you win now? You want a fucking medal? I don't care.
Yeah, exactly.
If I covered it on Indie Impressions and it's not an indie game, fine. I'm a hypocrite. I don't care. I cover like 300 games a year. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
You should cover Call of Duty on your indie impression.
See, I don't go out of my way to go after like major AAA games, but the ones that are like kind of in a gray area, who cares?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, fuck, if you really wanted to apply some like hard reasoning to independent at all as a word, then you must hate indie movies because almost all of them are produced by big budget studios now. Right. All indie just means in like film, like low budget. That's all that means. And honestly, doesn't even necessarily mean that all the time because low budget is like $20 million, $50 million. That's a low budget film, and people still call a lot of those indie movies.
It's just straight up a misconception that there is a black and white way to identify something like that. There isn't. It's all gray.
Exactly. Yeah.
There are shades that are more obvious than others, but it's still gray.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, and you know what? Going back to the SimCity topic just for a moment, because I wanted to bring this up. So EA basically forced Maxis to make the most god-awful SimCity game in the history of video games. One of the worst games in the history of video games as well. Not because the gameplay itself was like the worst, but because of all the various issues. But, and then they turn around, they do that, they fucking suck the lifeblood out of Maxis, a household name in fucking video games, and then they kill the studio. Studio's dead now.
Threw him completely under the bus.
Yeah, they scapegoated Maxis, and it's like, you know what? Fuck you, EA. Like seriously, like you fucking stealing a company that I've grown up with out from under me because you're a piece of shit company. And it's very frustrating when that happens. But, you know.
It's pretty sad.
Yeah. And now it feels like fucking Activision just doing the same thing with Blizzard, which is...
You kind of just have to let it all go.
I know.
The cards are going to fall where they may, and most of them are probably not going to be in ways that we want. So
it's so sad to me. And now I'm so afraid that the same thing's happening with Bethesda. And I really don't want it to.
What do you think is going to happen to Bethesda? They're going to get put out of business?
Well, not necessarily that, but I mean, they're going to be tanked into the ground so that they're fucking useless. Or like that they're a joke, like Elder Scrolls Online. Yeah, oh, great fucking idea with that one. Let's make an MMO. Yeah. Next thing, they're going to make an Elder Scrolls fucking MOBA.
Does Elder Scrolls Online count as an Elder Scrolls game? Like, did they put enough of their resources so they weren't making another Elder Scrolls game?
Because Bethesda Software didn't develop it.
Oh, okay. Good.
So it was a subsidiary under ZeniMax Software, which is the company that owns Bethesda now.
Because Skyrim came out how long ago?
3-4 years.
3-4 years. So we're getting like
that's pretty close to
reasonably
Fallout 4.
Close to next Elder Scrolls game.
Well, no, it's probably Fallout 4 if it's going to be anything.
Did they alternate?
Fallout 3 hasn't come out. Well, that came out years ago.
Well, yeah.
It's like 6 or 7 years ago.
But like
New Vegas was
they haven't necessarily
right.
They haven't necessarily alternated, but they did Oblivion, then Fallout 3, then Skyrim, and then so like
right,
if you
it wasn't
followed
really a
that
pattern.
simple
It was
pattern,
kind of there.
But if it could be a pattern, and it could be Fallout 4, maybe it's a new Elder Scrolls. I'd be fine with either, honestly.
I don't know how much more they need to say about Elder Scrolls, honestly. I feel like Skyrim plus mods could last the rest of that generation of what it needs to.
Well,
I was so disappointed
with Oblivion, though.
with Skyrim that I really want to see what they're going to do with the next one if they make another one.
I loved Skyrim, so...
I'm not putting it down. I just think, like, there's not a lot more they need to do.
Well... Yeah. I just felt like
there's a lot they could have done in Skyrim that they didn't do. Like,
that's the thing, is that Skyrim is that's the whole basis of Elder Scrolls games these days, is that there's just so much to do in them, and there wasn't a lot to do in Skyrim. Like,
yeah, like it would be amazing if they made another Elder Scrolls game and then they added in that element that they had in Oblivion where you could craft your own spells and stuff.
That was really fun.
That was fantastic. Like that was like one of the best parts about Oblivion that was gone in Skyrim. And also, just to be totally honest, Skyrim's spell system was real boring.
It was streamlined for the sake of not overly complicating it for new people, because they wanted this to be a big console game.
Yeah, exactly. And it was very, like, the controls were incredibly clunky, and it was just not good. Like, the spell system
which side of the thing do you fall on about whether or not Elder Scrolls combat should be real-time? Or maybe not real-time is what I mean. Like, one-to-one hit. So, like, it's not a dice roll when you hit something.
Well, it's kind of not.
In Oblivion, I believe it was the last one to do this, right? Where you hit something and it goes, well, let's calculate everything. But then Skyrim, you actually hit something, you just hit it.
No, Oblivion, you hit
Oblivion
something.
did it? Okay,
yeah, so Oblivion did that too.
It was Morrowind was the last one.
Because I've never played an Elder Scrolls game that's done that. So Oblivion was the first one I played, so...
I couldn't remember. It's been years since I played them.
Yeah. I just... When I look at Oblivion compared to Skyrim, I have, like, hundreds of hours in Oblivion. And, like, Oblivion? I'm so sorry. And, like, 30 hours, less than that probably in Skyrim.
I found Skyrim so much more compelling.
I did the main quest, which was enjoyable. I enjoyed it. Nothing wrong with that. What?
Peter O'Toole.
Who is Peter O'Toole?
He played Greybeard or Angbeard or whatever.
Oh.
He's really fucking good. He's fucking great. Amazing voice.
Who played Parallax? I think someone important played Parallax. I can't remember. I remember being like, "Oh, that guy played Parallax." I didn't know that.
Yeah, no. Some big actor played it too. Yeah, I'm not sure.
I'll look it up. And I did the Dark Brotherhood quest, which was fun too. I liked the Oblivion one a little bit better, but Dark Brotherhood was still good in Skyrim. The Thieves Guild was boring.
Thieves Guild sucked. Yeah,
it was boring. The Champions thing was cool.
This is way better than it was in other games, I'll say that.
Yeah, but there was no... The saddest thing of all, there was no arena, and I fucking loved the arena.
You guys get a very different experience from these games, because I honestly just like to go on adventures and don't really follow the story. I just wander.
That too. That's the majority of what I do. And I mean, that's something that has made me love Bethesda games. Like for instance, one
Fallout
of the best
did it the best. Fallout 3. That was the best.
That's what I was about to say. Is one of my best experiences with a game was Fallout 3, where the game, if you take the same path as someone else, you could have basically the exact same experience as them. But when Fallout 3 came out, and I was in high school, and I was talking with my friends who were playing Fallout 3 at the same time, we had completely different experiences.
Yeah.
You could go wherever you wanted to start. Like, once you got out of the vault, you could go anywhere. And we did. Like, people went left, and some people went all the way north, and other people went all the way right to the battleship. Like, there was a bunch of different experiences, and people just telling each other, oh yeah, if you go here, this is great. It reminded me of the old days of video games where you're talking to your friends about things that you could do when you don't know, and that was fucking great. And I mean, honestly, when Skyrim came out, I didn't have a lot of people around that were playing it at the same time as me, so I don't know if people had that same experience. But I mean, I had a great time just playing that. Like, I would play that casually with Dennis sometimes, and like one time we were wandering off in the woods somewhere, and then we found this little shack, and it was weird. It was like, just a regular shack, and it was like, oh, whatever. And then we go to the bookcase, and there's like a little button And we're like, oh, that's weird. And you click the button, and the bookcase opens up, and there's a whole fucking dungeon down there with bandits, like a bandit hideout. And it was like a whole storyline that just started, a quest line that began because we found that button in the bookcase, which you could have started the quest line from a town somewhere else, but you just started it there when you were just randomly exploring. And it's stuff like that that's kind of like emergent gameplay that makes it really fucking interesting. And that is great.
Let's not forget, though, Fallout 3 was buggy as shit.
Oh, yeah. All Bethesda
super
games.
broken.
Yeah, but all Bethesda games are super broken, especially even when they just come out, too. Like they almost never fix them. Like, they've always been super buggy.
But that's the nature of the beast. It's a real complicated thing to design a game that massive.
Exactly. It's so...
They do a good job. They do a good job. But the thing with Skyrim is that I enjoyed exploring. The issue is that when I started exploring in Skyrim, I was like, oh, here's a random dungeon. I want to go and explore this dungeon, come back out. Good time. I did that a couple times, and around the third or fourth, maybe fifth time, I started noticing every single dungeon was almost not exactly the same, but I just couldn't tell them apart from each other. To the point, to the design, to the enemies, to what was in there. It felt like I wasn't being rewarded for exploring either in terms of excitement and an actual physical reward. Like at the end, you might get a soul gem or some shit. Like maybe you'll learn a new shout. That was like the best reward you could probably find in any of those. And it just didn't feel worth it. And I felt no, like I said, enjoyment out of exploring dungeons. And that was that.
Yeah,
and so I kind of
party all the time.
I kind of stopped walking around and I started just doing the main quest lines, which, like I said, were good besides the Thieves Guild.
Yeah. Thieves Guild sucked ass.
There's so much like individual shit in Fallout, though. I'm just thinking like so many little handcrafted nooks and crannies to run into.
Never played Fallout 3.
Oh, dude, you should. It's so good. It still holds up, absolutely.
I spent like 300-400 hours in it. Like I love that game.
The issue is that I played New Vegas and I did not like it at all.
No, I didn't like New Vegas either. Fallout 3 though.
What I really liked about Fallout 3 was that it felt like I had an actual impact on the world, whereas Skyrim I didn't feel like I did as much. Like in Fallout 3, you could just go fucking ham ass like crazy on your decisions. Like, oh yeah, I could help this town, or I could wipe this town off the map forever for the rest of the game, where I will never get to interact with these characters ever again. Whereas in Skyrim, like, you know, I'd walk up to a king or something and I'd be like, all right, I'm gonna fucking murder this guy and then I'll be the king, or I won't, but I'll just kill this guy. And then they're like invincible, and there were like so many characters that were invincible in Skyrim that it was just like, this is kind of I wish I had more options.
I get things that one of the best, I think, comparisons I can make, or I guess points I can make, is that in Skyrim, when I walked into Blackreach for the first time, you guys remember what Blackreach was?
Is that the one with, on the bridge?
No, it was the mushroom place when you got the Elder Scroll.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I was just blown away. I walked in, you open this little passage. I think you go through a dwarf place first, and then you go through, and it opens up to this massive, just huge chasm, inner cave system with like glowing mushrooms, and there's this cool like castle structure, and it looked amazing. And I was like, where was this the entire game? Like, I'm blown away. I want to look through every part of this area. I want to explore all of it, and I did. And then at the end, you get the Elder Scroll. It's this cool contraption that you do this puzzle. It's really cool. And I was like, where is all of this everywhere else? Like, of course, I mean, if this is probably the ultimate thing that they have, I can understand that. But there was nothing that came even close to like that blown away magic that happened when I went into Blackreach. And I was just bummed out because it was like, is this the only area you put? I mean, I guess when you're building such a huge game, you can't put a lot of time into a lot of areas, but it just left me wanting more of that. And I never got more of that.
I'm trying to remember, like, there weren't a lot of points in Fallout 3, though, where I had that kind of a gestalt moment where I was like, man, that's fucking awesome.
Well, it's
but
not
yet, it was a slow burn.
Underground. Yeah. Yeah. But the atmosphere was just so good in Fallout as well, that it was, like, you didn't need... Although, there were moments like that, like going and seeing the battleship off the coast and being like, oh shit, people live in that battleship, that's cool. And then you finding the secret entrance in the battleship, too, and, like, stuff like that. And, oh, man, I remember one of the battleship quests was this guy who didn't know he was an android.
Yeah.
And there was a if you paid enough attention, there was a way on that quest, which I figured out the first time, like how I can get all of the like just fucking be this maniacal scheming demon creature and like lie to both sides, like you were play both sides and get the rewards from both and still have the quest conclude in the way that you want. And that kind of moment was just like, I feel so cool and I feel so smart because I was like, oh yeah, I'll totally help you out, buddy, and then I just fucked him over, and then the android guy was like, oh yeah, I'm telling you the complete truth when I was totally lying to him, and like stuff, and it was just like, man, that is so fucking awesome. And then like going into like the underground train area where the vampires are, and it's just like, man, Fallout 3, that's such a fucking great game.
Spoilers. I think it was the hoarding for me. Like, I really liked the tangible connection you had, that your character could see all the items in the actual space.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
And just pick up as many of them as you could hold and bring them back to wherever your hideout was and drop them in a locker, which I'm so thankful that the lockers have infinite capacity. Because there was like 2 or 3 of them in my house, and I would just fill them up with like guns, armor, cosmetics, or whatever, cosmetic items.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm gonna be honest with you guys. When I play those games, like Bethesda games, I immediately open up the console and I add like basically unlimited weight to how many things that I can carry.
I like the simulation element of it.
See, but that's the thing, is that it's bullshit, because like, I'm fine if you want to make like a real encumbrance system where I can only hold what I can realistically hold. No, but that's the thing. Like, if you make a real encumbrance system where I can only hold what a person feasibly can hold, I will totally conform to your rules and I will do that. But in Skyrim and in Fallout and all those games, it's like, oh yeah, you're encumbered, is like, oh, that's the immersion of playing a video game. But it's like, I've got like 100 swords and like 5 pieces of armor and all this shit. Like, it's not realistic that I'd be carrying this shit anyway. So like, it's already not realistic, and then on top of it, it's like really annoying to deal with the inventory management. So I was just like, fuck it, I'm just gonna apply the console thing and do it. It's not like it honestly didn't take away from the experience for me. Like, I don't like turning on like God mode or something in video games, because it's just boring, you know. You just get tired of the game super quick. I think we've all had that experience with cheat codes in the days, you know, trying to see like if it's fun to just be a god, and then it just really is just super boring. But like, as far as encumbrances and inventory management shit is concerned, I don't stand for that shit, straight up.
I also played on 360, so like I didn't have options for that.
Right? Yeah. Fair enough. Yeah. I hate dealing. I hope that they do a real encumbrance system. Like, imagine if they made it so that like you could really only carry like 3 or 4 weapons or something.
They'd have to model it on the character so you could see it being held properly, like based on your clothing, which is so granular that I don't think anyone would bother.
Yeah, you're probably right, love it, but it would be cool.
But
like, that would be great.
So much work to put into a physics system to try and make it so like every time you change your clothes, you see how many pockets they have. Like, come on.
Oh, that'd be cool.
That's a long way off into our future, when we have so much of the fundamentals of game design out of the way that we can worry about shit like that.
Yeah. It's just, I also just hate inventory management in video games.
I don't mind
like,
it.
altogether. I think it's one of the worst things of video games in the modern era.
My least favorite thing about Terraria is, like, all right, I have 20 chests, each have different things in them.
I'll give you that one.
That's the worst. I hate that.
Where is that one piece of gold?
It becomes half the game.
That's what makes me not want to play Terraria, and games like it actually is trying to do that shit, and just like,
the rest of the game's way worth it.
Yeah, no, I know. It's just I have a passionate hatred for inventory management, and man, those games like that I couldn't do because of that.
After I got to hard mode in my Let's Play, each episode was like 30 minutes recording, 30 minutes managing before I could record again, because I had to put away all the crap that I just found.
Right.
And I have a very meticulous system for sorting it all too, which meant that I had to spend time keeping that up, or it just becomes anarchy. You can just throw everything in every chest, you'll never find it.
I have such a great system. Basically, I have like 8 chests, and then I like, all right, this chest is for ores, this chest is for extra weapons, this chest is for this, and it'll work for like 30 minutes, and then eventually it's like, all right, where does this? I'll just put this in with this. All right, where does this go? Okay, this. I guess this can go with this, and then it's fucking
you broke
gone.
rank. You can't do that shit, Austin.
Yeah.
My whole system crumbles from the ground.
I lay it out so there's 4 tiers of my house. Each one has 5 chests on either side. So like, I don't even know how I categorize them anymore, but I've got signs on the front, and it's like, so this one will be for nature items, accessories, consumables, potions, boss activation items, and then I just line them all up and just try and add space where it's necessary. But it's like a lot of work to plan that out all the time. And
that's why I just give up.
And it's not fun. That's the thing, is doing that isn't enjoyable.
Fun for like an hour until my OCD wears off, and I'm like, you know what? I kind of don't care, but I have to keep it up anyway.
Right, exactly. And that's the thing with inventory management in video games that is just
I really
frustrating.
Like Dark Souls 1, it was a nightmare. Dark Souls 2, it was better, but still not great. Like, I love when I have a page of swords that all look the same, and I'm trying to find one, and I have no idea what it looks like. So, okay, 1, 2, 3, 4 bastard sword.
Why was Dark Souls 1 a nightmare? You just put everything you don't want into that other chest.
What?
There's that shitty like accessory chest you could buy right at the beginning of the game, and you just move all the shit you don't want into that, and then you never have to look at it.
Oh, I actually didn't know about that.
Done! Solved all the problems for Austin.
Yeah, but then you have to do that, though. You have to, like, all right, let's pause all of the fun and interesting and emergent elements of Dark Souls so that I can sit here for a half an hour and sort through my items and pop them into a thing. Like, that's
take a half an hour.
It's so boring.
You go A, up, A, up, A, up, A. You just keep going and adding them.
Yeah, but that's so boring.
That would have been really helpful now that I think about it.
Yeah.
I basically kept like 3 or 4 weapons in my inventory most of the time in that.
Yeah, I know. In Dark Souls, you never use more than like 2 or 3 weapons. So, yeah, that is nice.
I think my rule with inventory management is it either has to be extremely restrictive so that, you know, I can only have 1 primary weapon, 1 secondary weapon at a time or something like that. And that's the whole thing. Or, yeah, you know, you wear just the 1 piece of armor and you drop the other one. It either has to be that or functionally infinite. Those are the only 2 ones that I will be like, all right, this is an okay inventory system for me. Beyond that, it's just so frustratingly just boring. It bores me. It bores me beyond belief doing the inventory management, and no game has really done it that well. Very few games.
Conceptually, it seems so simple to me. Like, the way Castlevania Symphony of the Night started to do it, but then fucked it up. If you just had a list of all the items with their names and a little picture next to it with times whatever, how many you have, just give it the option, sort them by name, sort them by type, sort them by whatever other metrics you think are necessary. But if you know roughly what you're looking for and you know the name of it, it's easy. If you don't know the name of it, you look at the types. Is it there? No. All right, move on.
No, see, that's the thing, actually. You know, it's funny that we're talking about this, and it comes from talking about Fallout and Skyrim. Skyrim, I don't know what they were thinking. Although, I guess I do, because they tried to simplify it for consoles yet again, and that's
for controllers.
And the inventory system in Skyrim was maybe one of the worst RPG inventory systems out of any game ever. Like, seriously, like, that's not hyperbole. It was really fucking bad. But then, if you played on the PC, though, within like a week of the game coming out, they immediately came out with this thing called Sky UI, which was perfect. Inventory management was a fucking breeze because it had all those things. You could sort by type, you could sort by fucking favorite, you could sort by like whatever, like the damage, you could sort by anything, and you could find anything whenever you wanted, and it was amazing, and it was super simple and really not clunky and easy to use, and it was great. And it's like, why didn't they put that in the game instead of the shitty system that the AAA studio spent millions of dollars to do, and not just this one that this modder made in like a week?
You gotta let you favorite items too. That's very important. You need to be able to have an element, like if it's just gonna do everything alphabetically, you need to have your own custom touch on it if there's 2 or 3 things you don't want to conform to that.
Well, that's actually what Skyrim did, and that's actually that was one thing that was really nice about that. And
Borderlands
actually
came around too.
Yeah, that's one of the better things about Skyrim's inventory is the favoriting system, which I actually really liked. I think that was a really good, nice touch. But it was a little bit cumbersome because it got weird when it came to swords and shields. Because it would do this thing where it would link a sword and a shield just naturally, and then you'd have to like go through it a second time in order to get to just the sword or say just the shield, and it got very weird. But beyond that, I mean, the favoriting system was pretty nice. In execution, however, it wasn't great because you had to use the exact same favoriting system for weapons that you would for like spells. So, although Sky UI did away with that as well and made it a lot easier because it separated spells and weapons, which was rather nice, honestly. Anyway, yeah, so you'd have to sort through that shit, and it was just like super cumbersome. It would pause the game, and you'd have to like scroll through each different favorite on which hand, and it was just like, ugh, God, just give me a fucking real spell system. Give me a radial menu. I love radial menus. Radial menus are fucking great. I love radial menus. I wish more games had radial menus.
You just said radial menus so many times.
I know, because I like saying it.
I'm so
radial
angry
menus.
at you now. No, I'm not really.
Do you like radial menus?
I don't really
Stop.
care. Honestly, I don't think that they're always that good or always that bad. It depends on the context of the game, what makes sense. And a lot of the games where I do really like intense inventory management, I'm thinking Castlevania-oriented things that have a lot of items that are kind of like not easy to tell what they are. I kind of just get used to whatever it is.
But what about radial menus?
I don't care. Like, Secret of Mana has sort of radial menus, and that kind of annoyed me, actually, so I don't know how much I like them. I think it's a different type of thing.
I know
you're going to
not
say
a
they're
modern
different.
radial menu, because that one's more like
Come
a
on.
rotary menu than it's a radial menu. Also, my headphones just died, so...
Who cares? Isn't it kind of similar, though, radial to modern?
Rotary.
Kind of
What?
Radiators.
They're all the same. Who cares?
No, but yeah, it's more. That's more of a rotary menu than it is a radial menu, because...
Oh, yeah, you said that already.
Yeah, right. Because like you'd have to like go left and right to get to the thing, as opposed to
what about
a
radical menu?
That would be great.
So it's
just
like
has
the
a bunch
little
of bright
squiggly line.
colors.
What about a free radical menu?
Oh,
Helps fight cancer.
What about a gluten-free menu?
where are we
Are
going?
you
with
opening a vegetarian bar?
I think so. I actually was about to order the other day from this vegetarian place.
Rob,
But I
segue.
didn't-
What a
It-
fucking transition from radial menus to ordering vegetarian
Well,
food.
actually, as far as Rob segues go, this one made sense because we just talked about.
All right,
Well,
if
we
I
were
didn't
just
say what
saying
I said.
words.
Yeah. But anyway, I went to go order from a vegetarian. Well, I was gonna, and then I just couldn't tell if it was a vegetarian place or not, and it was very confusing.
They have meat.
Well, yeah, it would be like here's
He
a
figured it
burger,
out!
and
That's
it
the
would
only
be like,
one.
All right, you get a burger of a thing, and then. But on the other one, it would be like, yeah, veggie burger patty, and this one would say like it was ambiguous. It was very ambiguous. Like, is this chicken or is this veggie chicken?
Tofurkey.
Because some of them would say and others wouldn't, but it would be like really confusing whether or not it was or not. It's very frustrating. I didn't really understand. And it's not like the name of the place wasn't like vegetable fucking house or anything.
Vegetable house.
And it didn't even say like on Grubhub, it didn't have like under the main like what type of restaurant this is. It didn't say like vegetarian, so it was very confusing. So basically, here's a rule: if you guys are gonna open a vegetarian restaurant, anybody listening right now, be very clear that you have vegetarian food. All right.
Also, put your goddamn hours on your door or on your storefront or something. It's real dumb
Yeah,
when I can't tell when you're open.
They do that where you are.
One particular place has done that, and there's not really any reason for it.
Yeah, no, you put your fucking hours on it.
The
Also,
store next to them had it. Come on.
if a CEO at a bank is listening right now, open your fucking bank more often.
Yeah,
How
really. You
about
guys
that?
work like 3 hours a week, for fuck's sake.
I swear.
Come on, man, you fucking close at 2 p.m. on Saturday and not open at all on Sunday? What is this, fucking communist China? Can fucking open your doors, please. Jesus Christ. I gotta go out by 6 p.m. on a weekday to go to my bank. Like, give me a fucking break, man. Come on.
Banks just like, why? Why?
What's the deal with Banks?
What's the deal with Bankline food? But no, why? There's so many places that won't be open on Sunday, and I get that it's a religious thing, but you need to start making some more money. I'm basically talking about Chick-fil-A. Like, fuck Chick-fil-A. Be open on Sunday, all right? Please. I want Chick-fil-A on Sunday. Real bad. I got a little distracted and off track there.
Banks. We're talking about Banks.
That's like...
I'm just going to say twice. Twice I've gone to Chick-fil-A's on Sunday, went to the drive-thru, waited 5 minutes for someone to talk to me, realized it was Sunday, and drove off sadly.
Waited for 5 minutes for someone to talk to you?
Look, man, I'm not...
There's no one there. There's no parking lot full.
I consider myself a smart man most of the times, but I do some horribly stupid things a lot of the time. You
must have been real sleepy, though, to sit at a thing for 5 minutes.
No, it's just like, okay, maybe that's... My brain was going through the scenarios for those minutes. I guess I got a lot of scenarios in my brain at that point, but I didn't realize very suddenly and with a lot of clarity that it was Sunday. And
all right, keep this in mind. I think most fast food joints, when you drive up to a drive-thru, a timer starts ticking away as soon as you drive up to it. And they have a small amount of time to both complete and hand out your order. So they're not going to leave you hanging there for that long.
Yeah, it was the first time, give me the benefit of the doubt. The second time I noticed much quicker. It was maybe it was about 30 seconds.
Okay.
I haven't done it a third time, so that's good. I'm learning my lesson. But yeah, I don't. It's embarrassing. All the cars are driving by. Look at that dummy sitting in the Chick-fil-A drive-thru. It's Sunday.
One of them's gonna be like, maybe he knows something we don't.
Is there a way to get Chick-fil-A on Sundays that I don't know about?
Yeah.
Is there a secret code you can yell into the thing?
There's a bro code.
There's a little chicken wizard pops up and gives you some.
I don't think there's a chicken wizard. No.
Hey man.
I think there is.
There could be a chicken wizard.
I missed that entire thing because these stupid fucking headphones.
Dude, what is up with your headphones?
Oh, well, they're gone again!
Oh, no. Radial menus.
Fucking Logitech G930 pieces of garbage, and they're gone again.
Or like G9.
They're off more times than they're on at this point.
Yeah. I don't think I like that.
Why is this a thing you can pay money for?
But yeah, the Logitech G930s. I'm getting to the point now where it's like, all right,
it's disruptive every time.
Yeah, the amount of, like, how people have that thing where it's like, I paid $100 for these. I'll give them a larger benefit of the doubt than I normally would because I spent a lot of money on it. I'm at the point now where these are kind of fucking bullshit. I'm a bit pissed off.
But it's not just you, right?
With wireless things.
I don't know if it's me, but yeah. Wait, what?
This is the second time you've gotten a wireless thing.
Again. I'm sure you're providing really good insight into what I'm saying, Austin. But I can't hear fucking shit all of what you're saying. Okay, they're back now.
Okay, I gotta quickly do it before they go out again. This isn't the first time you've had trouble with a wireless device, right? I think it was headphones.
That's true. No, I went for Bluetooth recently.
Oh, that's right. It was Bluetooth.
That was the worst decision of my entire life. I'm not trusting Bluetooth. I'm waiting. It's another decade. I usually, with wireless technology, I usually take a decade. It's like, or at least 5 years, where it's like, all right, I tried it, didn't work. Give it another 5-10 years. Come back, see if it works. Bluetooth, at least with a PC, was fucking garbage. It actually broke my computer. I didn't have sound. I didn't have sound for a while. At all.
I will say that I don't know if you can even get this model anymore. The Turtle Beaches that I got 5 years ago or something, a long time ago now, I still have them wrapped up somewhere. They were flawless. They never broke. They never went out. They were just the best wireless headphones.
The risk is just not worth it.
Right, no, right. But I'm just saying those specifically were one of the best headsets I ever had, and it was wireless.
It's weird too, though, because I really like Logitech products in general. I half the stuff that I have is Logitech. I'm using a Logitech mouse. I have a Logitech webcam. And those all work. Actually, the webcam is kind of fucking up right now, but beyond that, like the mouse works perfectly. But
half of the things I just mentioned are actually kind of broken, but you know they're great. Yeah, exactly, I love them.
Yeah. Actually, you know what? You might be right. Maybe it's time to switch brands.
Logitech's not doing it. I don't know. My Logitech webcam has been great. I haven't had any problems with it. With the wireless headphones right now that you have, what do they have? Like a tiny little thing that you plug in USB wise, or what?
Yes.
Okay,
well,
that's it.
Not to connect to the machine though. Like it's just for charging. Like it doesn't even have it doesn't
carry data.
Yeah, it doesn't carry data. So
so it just how does it get to your computer? Is it just
there's a wireless USB, looks like a thumb drive that you'd plug into the back of your computer, and that's like your transmitter receiver.
Okay. See, the thing with my Turtle Beaches is that it had a big, like the size of a book, like receiver that I would.
Oh, okay.
So that's probably why it worked so well.
Because it was the size of a book.
It is about the size of a book. Yeah, like a small book.
Yeah.
But it also acted as a stand for the headphones. It was like a 2-in-1.
Do you think any book will work, Austin, or does it have to be a certain book, like Catcher in the Rye?
Maybe like a journal, like a personal journal.
Okay, so like a personal journal then.
Yeah.
Harriet.
Rob, just take a book and shove it in your computer, man. It'll probably fix this.
But yeah, it had that big receiver, it had a great signal, and it never went out. So that was probably why that was more consistent, as opposed to a small USB.
Get a big book and beat your headset to death with it.
Or get a wired headset.
That's more like it.
Is your headset out right now, Rob?
Yeah, sounds like it.
All right.
That's actually a really great way to punctuate this whole thing.
Yeah.
Or did you just
that? Oh yeah, drop the call or
yeah, okay, just lost the old sound in the headphones there.
Oh, we actually said that happened as it happened, so we called it out at the time.
I'm sitting 3 feet away from the receiver transmitter.
Well, before Rob said
interference.
Yeah. I mean, I turned off all those things before, and that didn't help.
Maybe your brain is just interfering with it.
I think it's just technology hates me, because I mean, these headphones got like great reviews.
Yeah.
So I don't make a purchase that's more than like $30 without being extremely meticulous in my research of the product. And they're gone again, by the way. So I'm just gonna
oh my
these
God.
had fantastic reviews, and they I don't remember hearing anything about people losing signal like this.
So we need you guys to donate to Rob so we can get a new headset, because this is fucking dumb.
Yeah,
we can't even have a conversation if your shit cuts out every 3 seconds.
Well, you know, it
did cut out like throughout the entire beginning of the episode.
So what's changed between the beginning and the end?
The magic game ended.
Yeah, it's out again. I get the point.
What's that?
You've made your point.
We just called you a big dummy.
No, that's fair, yeah.
Cut out right when we said that.
It's gone. Yeah.
I think I want to be done with this episode now.
Fair enough. It's actually an hour and 40 minutes, so...
Oh, wow.
It's fairly long.
Almost broke the record. What's it, hour 44 or whatever?
I don't know. It's a good one back, I'll say that.
Yeah, we gave them those 2 crappy 30-minute ones, so like... Well, actually, they were pretty good episodes despite being short, but, you know, here we go. It's like a 3-fer, basically.
Gotcha.
We might end up going back down to like shorter episodes, I think, because this takes like our whole night.
yeah, I was gonna say we should ask if people want them to be more concise, because
you know what they're gonna say.
Longer the better, right?
Longer
well, I don't know. A lot of people like the shorter stuff too. So
I'm gonna say it right now. Comment's gonna say longer, more, better.
I think ideally for me, around an hour or less would be ideal. Between 40 minutes and an hour.
Point. It's when we go
45 minutes is my perfect zone.
Sure, I'm with that.
That would be good, because we usually have enough time to do the magic, and then we could talk for a while, and then just be like.
By the way, for anyone that just found this episode, yes, we do this every single time. We know it's bullshit.
There was a specific episode like 5 or 6 episodes ago where
a bunch of people just found it all and were like, "Wait a minute, is this really what happens on the series?" Yes.
Like, no, 170 in, this is the first one.
We play a single game, and then we talk for a while. Yeah. If you're not into it, that's cool. If you are, we're here for you.
Yeah.
That's it. It's very simple.
It's a podcast.
My cannolis.
My cannolis to you all, and to all a good night.
That's a good way to go out. My cannolis, everybody. We'll talk to you all later.
Everyone.